You are listening to a Difference for One podcast, episode number 1. I'm Michelle.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Charisse.
And I'm Cami.
We are the English sisters.
We come together to share life-changing methods of improvement and invite others to make a difference.
Our podcast is focused on a variety of topics. If we're only able to inspire one person during this journey, that's okay, because we'll know we made a difference for one.
Welcome to our first episode. We are so excited.
So, a little bit about us really quickly. We are the 4 sisters out of our family of 12 children. Yes, you heard that right. So if you're looking at our cover picture, from left to right is Nicole, Cami, Michelle, Charisse, just if you wanted to put a face with our names. The reason we wanted to do this podcast together is that we realized we all have various interests and strengths that complement one another. We felt like if we came together to share this with everyone, it would push us to make personal improvements and also inspire others to do the same.
We really think that it's so important to learn all we can in this life, and so we just wanted to enhance areas for ourselves, such as our physical, mental, spiritual, social, and emotional well-being within our own lives, and we hope that through this journey you might also learn something along the way.
So I was the one that asked my sisters to join me in this because I really wanted to put a podcast out into the world. And I knew that our combined strengths would make for an amazing team and that we could all come together and do this and it could be something really special. I love to listen to podcasts. And so I felt like this is something that I would love to do to create rather than just always consuming in my life. And so I'm so excited that all of my sisters said yes. I was nervous, and a couple of them I won't name names were like, or maybe one, it was like, I don't know. We won't.
Wasn't Charisse the one that was like, yes, immediately? She had like an idea for our logo, and she was like, I have a story, I have a logo, I have everything, I have a name.
One of us was like,
said,
I don't know. No. She said, maybe some of us don't exactly agree with everything that others agree with, and so it might not go well. But
and that was not Nicole, Charisse, or Michelle. Just not naming names, though.
Not naming names. And so we talked her into it a little bit and said, of course, we're going to make sure that we agree with the things. And what we say is only our personal opinion. It doesn't have to mean that you agree with everything that's said. But most of the things that we talk about and enjoy and focus on, we all kind of have a common agreement with. So we are so excited for this. So like Nicole said, Charisse was the first one, was like, yay, this is going to be awesome. And she just threw out this idea of...
Can I tell you how I came up with the idea?
Yeah, the starfish story, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that starfish story.
Oh my gosh. When I saw this story, I cried. I honestly cried. And here's why. I'm going to read it to you guys because it explains everything about why we are doing this podcast. One day, a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy picking something up and gently throwing it into the ocean. Approaching the boy, he asked, "What are you doing?" The youth replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean. The surf is up and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." "Son," the man said, "don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and hundreds of starfish? You can't make a difference." After listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it back into the surf. Then smiling at the man, he said, "I made a difference for that one." Oh, that just gives me chills.
The cool thing for me, too, was that I had just read that story. I think it was like a week before this all happened. So when Charisse suggested that we have that as our theme, I had just read it like a week before for the very first time, and it really resonated with me. I was thinking when I very first read it, I want to be that person throwing the starfish back into the ocean. I don't care if there are a million and I'm only able to do it for 10 or help just one or however many. I want to be that person making a difference and trying to do as much as I can.
So I really like this story as well. And I love having it not only as the base and inspiration of our story and the name of our podcast, but also because we wanted the starfish to represent us as sisters, with each sister being one point of the starfish and the top one being our Savior, Jesus Christ, who brings us together and unifies us in love and support. And so, yeah, that's why we love a difference for one. And that's why we love a starfish. And we especially love purple starfishes because they're kind of unique and special.
We wanted to take time in this first episode to let you guys get to know a little bit about each of us. So, Michelle, how about you go first since you're the oldest sister?
Okay. Yeah. So my name's Michelle, and I'm the oldest of us 4 girls, but I come after 5 boys. So you would think that I would be a tomboy like most girls that grow up with all boys, but I am a very girly girl. My mom kind of put me in this protective bubble of lace and frillies and put me in pageants and all of that stuff because I was her first girl and she wanted to just do all the girly things. And my brothers make fun of me and say that like the first couple of years of my life, I was like crying all the time because probably I was just so spoiled. I had my own bedroom while 4 boys were sleeping in another room. So
I thought you were all of their favorite too.
Probably. They probably just showered me with love and attention, and they still do. It's fine.
Yeah, from home movies, it looked like they kind of doted on you.
Yeah, they did. And some of them got a little bit jealous, but whatever. I am also the mother of 5 kids. A couple of my kids have special needs. One of them has spina bifida and another has dyslexia. And then my other kids have special needs like having attitude problems and feeling the desire to fill our house with tons of animals. They just want all of these animals in our house. And we just bought a bird on Saturday. It wasn't ready to come home yet, but it'll come home this Saturday. And we're like, okay, we have a cat, we have a bird. This is good, people. It's enough for now. And then our little almost 2-year-old feels like she runs the house. She climbs all over the table and she just kind of runs the show. And my other kids refuse. They will do anything for her, but they refuse to put her to bed at night or for naps because they don't want to be the mean guy. And so when I go and pick her up, she's like, no, because she's afraid I'm going to put her in bed because no one else will. So anyway, that's a little bit about my kids. And then I have a wonderful husband named Mark. My core values and faith are very important to me. They're just who I am. And I also have an eclectic taste in music. I love Michael Bublé. I love Michael Jackson. I love the Beach Boys. And I especially love Switchfoot and that Christian rock. I love that stuff. I don't really stress out over dishes and laundry because I have a great team of support in my family that helps me out with that. I am task driven and I like to be busy. I'm a go-getter. But I've recently discovered in all of this COVID-19 slowing down that it is amazing spending tons of time with your family and not having to go anywhere or be scheduled for anything. I've really enjoyed that. And I hope to keep that going. I hope to be able to say no to some things and just stay home with my kids and play games because they won't be little forever. I love listening to books and podcasts like I talked about earlier and consuming lots of knowledge. And I'm constantly striving to improve myself and listening to self-help books and goal setting and all of that stuff. I just love that kind of stuff. But my greatest passion really is finances. Wouldn't you say, guys? It's a little extreme. I know.
That's an understatement.
I'm a financial coach and I'm obsessed with all things finances. I give these ladies and anyone else around me financial advice, whether they like it or not. And I have had the opportunity to give seminars on this topic and I just love it. There are times when if I am asked to speak in church or something like that, I can get really nervous, but I am in my zone when I'm talking about finances. And I love being just knowing what I'm talking about, being able to answer all the questions based on it. And that's my passion and my zone. So I like to make a difference for one family at a time by helping them achieve their dreams. I love helping them budget and work on debt payoff and all of those kinds of things. So I believe the key to the best marriage is to be united in faith and finances, and I love helping people get there. So look forward to future episodes on personal and family finances, but those are not all my passions. I really want to encourage you as the listeners to put your best foot forward and assume that everyone else around you is doing the same. Sometimes it may not seem like the people around you are doing their best, but if there's a little bit more compassion and less judgment in the world, we can just love and support people right where they're at. So I want to give you a reason to feel uplifted and included, and to recognize that that comes from within. I want to help you grow spiritually and recognize your talents and be inspired to get out there and contribute in some way. And I hope to talk about a variety of subjects because most women, like the four of us, are interested in lots of different things. So that is a little bit about me.
Well, before I start, I thought it would be fun if we said a couple things that we like about Michelle, or funny memories or stories or something. Do you guys have anything like that?
I do. Growing up, I remember distinctly that no matter what, everyone would always cater to Michelle. Always. She was loved by everyone. Like,
It's so
I would
true.
ask somebody to get me a drink of water and they'd say, "No, go get it yourself." And then Michelle would say, "Can you get me a drink of water?" She would flutter her eyelashes and they would say, "Yes, princess."
I don't remember
She could
that.
always, yes, that is so true. She could always get anybody to help her with the dishes, and every single other person in the family did dishes on their own, but Michelle always had at least one person helping her. It's so true. And that is not a bad thing. I do not fault you for that. I think that's one of your greatest strengths.
I think it was because in the household, she was the ultimate peacemaker. She was the
Yeah.
middle child. The five brothers above her that she put up with, and then all the rest of us underneath her. And everybody loved Michelle. Everybody loves
true.
Michelle.
Okay, they're sweet.
I was going to say that when we were younger, she always taught me really cool spiritual stuff. And one of the ones that came up recently was because we just had Easter, and I've taught my kids not to spit on each other because people spit on Jesus Christ. And that was actually Michelle who taught me that when I was younger, because Charisse and our brother Marcus and we used to be so brutal with each other when we were really little. And I guess we must have spit on each other or something. This was when we were really young, so don't judge us. But Michelle, I remember one time she was like, "Do not do that. People spit on Jesus. We do not spit on each other." And I never did it again. Truly. I was like, I'm never doing it again. And now I taught my kids that. And yeah, they're like, "Oh, I can never do that again." Cami, did you want to say anything?
Gonna say that Michelle is really task oriented, like she mentioned, and so she's able to get things done. And I feel like that makes her really dependable. But my favorite thing about Michelle is that she dances in the kitchen all the time with her
kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's always able to get everyone laughing. And I would say that Michelle probably has her head on straight out of all of us the most.
That's a big compliment.
Yeah, you're welcome. But really, I feel like she is super confident in herself and her abilities, and I really admire that about her.
Thank you. All right. Nicole, you are the next oldest sister, so why don't you go next?
Okay, I'm Nicole. I'm 31 years old. I'm proud of it. So now you can figure out about how old the others are. Just kidding. I've been married for 7 years and I have 3 kids. My kids are my all-time best friends. Seriously. I mean, obviously my husband too, but seriously, my kids, I just love hanging out with them. I think they're hilarious. And no, they're usually not trying to be, but they're just so funny. This summer, they will be ages 6, 3, and 1. And I can't believe the baby is already about to be 1. That's just crazy. I can't believe how fast that first year always goes. I have a passion for sharing my testimony of Jesus Christ with others. I served an 18-month mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the Philippines 10 years ago. I seriously can't believe it's been 10 years.
10 years
Makes me
ago?
feel old. I know Cammie's thinking
know,
that.
girl, you are
You're
old.
I still think about my mission almost every single day and the people I met, the things that I learned. I still speak Tagalog every day. I have Filipino friends. While I was on my mission, I was thinking, when I go home, am I going to be able to pick out a Filipino in the crowd? And so I studied their faces, their features, and what set Filipinos apart from other Asians or whatever other people. And now I can pick them out from a crowd. Sometimes I'm wrong, but it's kind of a game between my husband and me. I'll be like, they're Filipino. He's like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Oh, and then I'll listen, if they're talking in Tagalog. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. So,
And if she knows
But-
that they are Filipino, she will talk to them.
I will.
For a long
Even if
time.
I'm not quite
For a
sure.
long
What, Michelle?
For a long time.
Yes. Yes. Yes, because, well, yeah. It's really funny to go up to them and just start talking in Tagalog if I hear them talking in Tagalog, and then they'll be like, "Are you Filipino?" And I'll tell them the joke, "Anak araw po ako." Like, that means I'm albino. So sometimes they believe me. They think I'm an albino Filipina. It's awesome. No, but then I'll be like, no, I'm just kidding. And I'll tell them like that I was a missionary and stuff. But that is a huge part of who I am now. Like, Pinay ako sa puso. I am Filipina in my heart. And I developed a deep compassion for the Filipino people especially, but also for all poor people, because Filipinos do not have very much, but they're the happiest people I have ever met. And being there for those 18 months made me wish I could help every single poor person in the entire world. I really feel for them. What I love about, sorry, I'm going on about this forever, and you're just going to have to get used to it because I love Filipinos. They love to laugh, they love to joke. They're very kind and loving to others. They're short, sometimes shy, actually most times shy, and so much more. So I'd have to say that's me too, at least I hope. So that's why I say I'm Filipina in my heart. Another one of my passions is fighting against sexual abuse and human trafficking. And I'm also an advocate for peaceful parenting. Not that I'm perfect at it, but I really care about it and I really try hard. And I hope that one day I can be a foster parent and even adopt some children, 2 or 20, who knows. I graduated from Brigham Young University in 2015 in editing. So of course I love reading. I like gaining knowledge in almost any way. So I also enjoy listening to podcasts every single day. And I like the heat and beaches, Indian food, and sushi. Cammie didn't want me to say that because she loves sushi too, but we're going to have to arm wrestle over who likes it more, I guess. Yes. I also like playing games, going on bike rides, singing at the top of my lungs, but usually just when my kids are listening. And I live for deep conversations.
So what I love about Nicole is that she's really good at giving compliments and making you feel really good about yourself. She does that for me a lot. And sometimes when I'm around her, I'm like, okay, I have to actually process and think compliments, and I'm going to say them out loud and mean them, like, not that I want to make stuff up, but just I want to be sincere about it and return the compliment of so many compliments because she's so good at that. And I love how much she loves my kids. She's really invested and interested in their feelings and getting to know them as people. And sometimes she'll say things like, if your daughter's having a hard time, have her give me a call and I'll talk her through it. And it's really good to have that good support system. And she's really great at that.
Something I love about Nicole is that she is a spiritual giant. And just to give you an idea of how spiritual, one time I was playing just a nice little game of Jenga with my nephew, and she forced us to say a prayer before we started our game.
But this
You
was
have to
after she
say-
came home from her mission and
Yeah.
came
I
home
was-
like perfect.
I was a fresh returned missionary. I was fresh from my 18-month mission, and that's all we did during that time was pray, 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 teach, 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 never sleep.
Well, we got the message.
Oh, she has good accents too.
Yeah, sometime we'll have to do a whole separate podcast where she just does bonquiqui.
Imitations.
Okay, let's do
Yeah,
it.
all imitations. Some other things I love about Nicole is that she is really good at giving advice and helping me make all of the decisions in my life that I hate making alone. I also love that she really tries to see the best in everyone. I really admire that. And she has always been willing to help me with my homework and edit all of my papers. So she basically got me through all of my schooling. But above all, when we are together, we laugh an obnoxious amount.
Cherise, you want to go next? We're just going in age order.
You guys are such fun. Okay, I don't know how I can follow that. Okay, I have been married for 11 years to the most productive man I have ever met. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Carl and I recently built a house together while he was enduring cancer treatments.
Built their own house.
From
Yeah, we
scratch.
we
It's
didn't
not
have a
like
contract
paid
themselves.
someone else. Carl built a
did
house.
it all.
Thank you.
With
There's
help.
my amen.
But yeah, basically Carl built the house by himself from scratch with
Yeah.
some help.
Yeah, and I can have conversations with construction guys and I can tell them things that most people wouldn't know, and it's super fun. I totally shocked Cammie's husband. He's like, I don't even know how you know most of these things. So I have definitely learned a lot building a house with Carl while he was enduring cancer treatments. I graduated from BYU Idaho as a vocal music major in 2012, and I love being the music director for my local community musical right now. Along with that, I enjoy teaching piano and voice lessons. Music is my self-expression and my motive for healing. 6 years ago, I became a certified reflexologist, and I love all things that have to do with energy work and spiritual matters. So you will definitely hear more podcasts on that soon. I am a caregiver to my 2 young daughters and to my husband, who has endured Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, not once, but twice. Yes, he got diagnosed with cancer when he was 25 and then again when he was 30. He is in remission. He's doing great. Everything is back to normal-ish.
Hallelujah.
He still has the same attitude. Like, he's a little cocky and he's full of himself and he thinks he's awesome because he is.
He is awesome.
I am currently writing a self-help memoir book for caregivers based upon my experiences. My intent for this podcast is to shine a light and promote growth, because our needs as women often go unmet as we are meeting the needs of others. The lessons I have learned, I hope, will assist you, our audience, to have success in your life journey. I hope to talk about self-care, emotional management, and ways to take action by helping you to clear the past emotional trauma, focus on your present joys, and surrender to the unknown future.
Cherise, you are awesome. You are such a good mom, and you have such a positive outlook on life. And I think that you have grown so much from all of the things that you've had to experience with your husband having cancer, that it has really made you a strong person that you may not have been able to achieve in any other way.
Yeah,
true.
that's what I was going to say, is that she has become so incredibly strong from all of this.
I really admire you. I love that you are not afraid to talk about who you are and what you believe, and the things that you love, even if other people don't understand them or agree with them. And you are really great at the piano and music, and that is a really strong,
Singing.
yeah, that is a strong point of yours. So
Sometimes Charisse will send us, or even just me, because she knows I love it so much, she'll send me videos of her playing the piano and singing songs that we both love, that she knows I love. And she'll do it just for me because she knows I would love it.
True. It's true. We all can sing, by the way, in our family. All 11 of us children can sing, but I am apparently the singer. It just happened.
You're the one who made a degree out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we all love it.
But can we talk about how creative Charisse is? Like how she can complete crazy, awesome projects. Some of my favorite memories of Charisse are when she taught me how to sew quilts and crochet things. I mean, really, she does all the things. So she's the best to have for Christmas.
Pretty much a 29-year-old grandma.
Because we have such a big family that we have to rotate which person we have for Christmas.
Every year I make something unique for that family.
yeah,
It's the
she
best.
also hosted our first ever family reunion this last July. And guys, does anybody know how many people we have in our family like that came to that? Because it was a lot of people.
I think it was
We had over 60.
Yeah, over 60 people at her house. Some of us were sleeping inside, some of us were in tents. And she did an amazing job, like staying calm through the whole thing and not worrying about everyone. Like, what are they going to do to my house? Her husband built this ginormous slip and slide, out the back of their house that the kids spent hours on. He took them out like shooting, and we went boating, rappelling. We did all of these amazing things.
Because
He also
we live in Idaho.
borrowed like play sets from the neighbors that the kids could play on. And so that was an unforgettable, amazing experience. And
Week-long project.
yeah, and it was a lot of work for them, and we really appreciate all that they did. It was just so fun.
Totally worth it.
What, Kimmy?
One thing too that I wanted to mention on a more serious note is that when I was little, I would have meltdowns basically 24/7, and I always, without fail, went to Charisse. She was the one I went to because she understood me emotionally. So I just wanted to throw in that plug because you guys should get excited about hearing things from her on how to handle your emotions in the future. Okay, so now to save the best for last, I'm Cammie, and I'm the youngest in our family. I am probably the epitome of whatever your idea of the baby of a family might be. Just to give you an idea of what that looked like, being the youngest, all of the siblings above me were around the same age, and they would all play together. And so I ended up playing alone with our dog, which is underrated because I remember playing Barbies, and it's really fun to put the Barbies in between your dog's legs and pretend like your dog is talking for the Barbie.
I didn't know that you did that.
Another suggestion, if you're looking for a good time, is to play hide and seek with your dog. And how that is done is our dog always had these certain spots in her house that she would like to go to. When it was my turn to hide, I would hide under the bed or under the end table or in one of her favorite spots, and I would wait until she would come and find me in that spot. And then when it was my turn to find, then I would go and look in all of her favorite spots until I found her.
That's hilarious.
Gosh, you gotta get creative when you're roughing it alone out there.
Cammie's 6 years younger than the one
Then
just
the next
above her.
oldest. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
former caboose.
So it was really exciting growing up with my quote unquote grandparents. Shout out to my dad who stopped coloring his hair the day I went to college. All of us siblings are actually all married, but I am the only one without children yet. But I really love being an aunt to 43 nieces and nephews, some of which are my age and older. I even got to room with one of my nieces in college. So it's
And
really fun to
didn't
have
all
a
the
big family.
people didn't everybody around you call you Aunt Cammie?
Yes, everyone in my ward called me Auntie Cammie, and I hated it. I'm like, no wonder I can't ever get a date around here.
They're like, how old is she?
Yeah, I think I'm 85. So I'm actually currently finishing up my degree at the good old Brigham Young University. I am really passionate about healthy sexuality and social issues. So anytime you want to talk about that, I'm your girl. I really enjoy reading, having deep discussions about things that may or may not be important, and I really love playing board games, especially with lots and lots of people. That's my jam. But if you laugh at my jokes, we are probably already friends, just so you know. I really love sushi, but since that food is taken, I'll stick with my microwave burritos. I also love dad sweaters, Will Smith, cooking with my husband, and Jesus. So my hope throughout all of this is that I'll be able to create a space where it'll be safe to talk about hard things that matter. I would really love to feel like I'm having a conversation with all of you. And although I am no expert by any means, I look forward to contributing the little knowledge that I have gained in this life that I feel is really powerful.
Okay, so let's say some things we love about Cami.
Cami really gets me probably better than anyone else in the world, including my husband and kids, who I said are my best friends. So, yeah, just anytime I've ever needed someone to talk to, needed help, and actually it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is, unless she's at work or in class or something, she will answer and talk to me and help me through it. There was one time when I was feeling really depressed and just feeling like this sounds really sad, but I just felt like nobody cares if I'm even alive. And she was like, I'm happy you're alive. I'm happy that you're in my life. And any other time that I feel like, oh, no one cares, I remember her saying that in my mind, and it comforts me. And just knowing that there's somebody in the world who understands me and is very similar to me, it really helps me a lot.
I really admire her wisdom. Sometimes she can gather us together and calm us down, and just say some profound things. And she's also the favorite aunt. Everybody loves Aunt Cami. It's all about Aunt Cami.
I hate to admit it, but it's true.
It's because I'm their age.
Not all of their age. Not anymore.
Yeah, they just love Cami. So yeah, that is all of us.
Now that you've heard a little more about each one of us, you can see why we wanted to collaborate on this. We are united in our faith and our core values, but each of us has different things to bring to the table.
Yeah, so I recently read a talk entitled Happiness, Your Heritage by Dieter F. Uchtdorf, and I really love some points that he made that kind of to tie this all together. His talk really stuck out to me as I had that desire to create rather than consume. To be able to do both, but do some creating as well. And what was that going to look like in my life? And his words just kept sticking out to me. And so here are some of the things that I love that he says in this talk. Quote, "To me, it appears that our splendid sisters sometimes undervalue their abilities. They focus on what is lacking or imperfect rather than what has been accomplished and who they really are. The desire to create is one of the deepest yearnings of the human soul. No matter our talents, education, backgrounds, or abilities, we have an inherent wish to create something that did not exist before. Everyone can create. You don't need money, position, or influence in order to create something of substance or beauty. Creation brings deep satisfaction and fulfillment. We develop ourselves and others when we take unorganized matter into our hands and mold it into something of beauty. Our birthright and the purpose of our great journey on this earth is to seek and experience eternal happiness. One of the ways we find this is by creating things. Creation means bringing into existence something that did not exist before. Colorful gardens, harmonious homes, family memories, flowing laughter together. What you create doesn't have to be perfect. If you still feel incapable of creating, start small. Try to see how many smiles you can create. Write a letter of appreciation. Learn a new skill. Identify a space and beautify it. The more you trust and rely on the Spirit, the greater your capacity to create. This is your opportunity in this life and your destiny in the life to come. Sisters, trust and rely on the Spirit. As you take the normal opportunities of your daily life and create something of beauty and helpfulness, you improve not only the world around you, but also the world within you. End quote. And I just really love that quote because he talks about why that is our purpose here on earth, is to create. And we can all create in our own personal ways and add beauty to this world. And it's part of our purpose here on earth is to discover what our personal talents and abilities are and to really make those shine for others and not be afraid or hold back at all. Just be who you are and love how you love. And that'll really shine through as you're authentic and you're real with people and you give what you can.
So what you guys have to look forward to in our future podcasts is that each podcast is going to be focused on one specific topic, and whoever of us in our group has an interest in that topic will join in on the conversation. So we plan to upload episodes weekly, and we will incorporate different things in those episodes. So we'll be interviewing guest speakers when we feel that's appropriate, or including research or statistics if that applies. We also plan to share a spiritual thought, a motivational quote, or a scripture of some kind that goes along with the episode. So we hope that this is going to create a community of listeners who can send in questions to us and let us know what topics you guys are passionate about so that we can have a good conversation about those things and we can learn and grow together.
So we came together to share our talents in a way that resonates with us. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what can I create? How can I make a difference in the world? It can start in your home with the way you serve your family or neighbors. Then you can take it beyond that with whatever it is that you love to do best, whether that be creating art, making music, writing and calligraphy, lending a listening ear, giving compliments, starting a business, cooking. It's all up to you, and it can be as simple or as grandiose as you choose to make it. You know your gifts and talents best, so ask yourself, what's next for you? Take that step forward and figure it out. Go out there today and make a difference for one.
If you like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. If it resonates with you, the greatest compliment you could give is to share it with a friend who might benefit from it as well. Check out A Difference for One on Instagram for additional content. And if you have any questions, comments, a topic you'd like to hear about, or if you'd be interested in a free mini coaching session, send an email to adifferenceforone@gmail.com.